Well, President Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, Professor Chris Piwuna joins us now in the studio to look at the agreement signed between the federal government of Nigeria and ASUU and how this will really help to address the crisis in the education sector. Thank you so much for joining us on Newsnight.
Thank you.
Happy New Year and Happy New Day.
Happy New Year
for ASUU. I mean, since this agreement is replacing, I'll leave Adesua to ask you as to whether we should, get Ashoebi for the burial of 2009.
9 agreements.
I already have one.
Oh, you do?
I'm just waiting for commitments from government so I can sew it and then.
Don't you have commitments already? Now let's even talk about that. This agreement, is it a reflection of what ASUU had in mind in replacing the 2009 pact?
Well, thank you very much. We have not been at this point for a very long time,
right?
16 years, and so it will even appear new to us, and to assess how sincere government would be, considering the failures of previous governments and ministers to getting us to this point. But that we have arrived at this point, we've signed an agreement, government have agreed to it. It's a great achievement for both sides, for the government and for our union, and all those who have contributed to ensuring that we get to this point, and there are quite a number of them. Chief Bisi Akande had helped us behind the scenes, DG of NIPS, Professor Ayo Omotayo, he's done his bit. We have so many people that ensured that they pushed government and they pushed us as well. I've been asked this question before as to how come we're able to get to this understanding after all these years. And to be honest with you, it's as a result of some other efforts before us. Dr. Tunji Alausa can take credit as a current Minister of Education that these things happened under him, and he will be right to do that. But you know, when Malang Adamu was Minister for Education
Minister.
I think one great thing that we achieved with Malang Adamu, though we never got to this point, is his style opened the Ministry of Education to us. His style of leadership, his engagement, the approach he took in engaging our union opened the ministry in some way. And so there was a welcome in the ministry. There was a readiness to talk with you in the ministry. And I think these things just kept building up until we got to where we are today. So we have an agreement. The government has shown commitment by, I'm sure you saw the minister brandishing the circular from Salaries and Wages, stating that from 1st of January this year, this agreement will come into force. There are a few things that are still outstanding.
Like
we
what?
hope that it will not get to any situation that will disagree.
What are those outstanding?
Our members at the Lagos State University, about 5 of them are still being dismissed. We had included it as part of our demands to ensure that that matter is resolved. We have about 108 members that have been dismissed from the Kogi State University by the previous administration of Kogi State. We still have our members being victimized at the Federal University of Technology, Owerri, Futo. So these are issues that Alhaji Ali Ahmed has agreed to take it up, and he will follow up on those issues. We have other people that are putting pressure, and we hope that the administration or the leadership in Lagos, Kogi State, and the Vice Chancellor of Futo will take a cue from how the government has addressed these issues.
Okay.
And see
All right.
how those issues are resolved.
But at the event today, you also highlighted lingering problems, including university autonomy, plurality of unions and collective bargaining, and the poor research funding. How critical are these issues to whether this 2026 agreement can actually endure? And I mean, the issue of CONWA, do they also benefit? How happy are you with that? I see that you struggled in giving that statement today when you talked about plurality of unions. Is this now one big happy family, ASUU, CONWA, and the rest?
CONWA, NAMDA are our members. As far as we're concerned, they are our members. Some of them are still paying dues to ASUU. So our first appeal to them is that they should come back to the fold. We are willing to accept them so that we can work together. But in the event that they do not return to the fold, this agreement is not for them.
If they don't return to the fold?
This agreement is not for them.
Okay.
This agreement is for members of ASUU, academic staff who are members of ASUU. We are the ones that have negotiated, we are the ones that have signed this agreement. The law, I'm not a lawyer, not even a para-lawyer, but what the law says is that we should democratically elect people to participate in collective bargaining. CONWA did not participate. Neither did NAMDA. So they cannot, technically speaking, be beneficiaries of this agreement. In fact, maybe I shouldn't say what I'm not very sure of, but NAMDA had gone to court to challenge ASUU, NUC, and the ministry about their recognition. And the court had said that they have every right to be recognized, and we accept that. But I just imagine if I'm President Tinubu, and today the Minister of Education brings an agreement and says this is for academic staff called ASUU, and tomorrow he brings another agreement and says this is for academic staff, they are called CONWA. Next tomorrow he brings another agreement and says this is for another set of academic staff, they are called NAMDA.
Right.
I don't know how the ministry will be looked at, but we have also discovered that the ministry is actively promoting these groups or these associations. Our trustee had said, and CONWA had challenged him, that they are a creation of the state. We still believe that they are creations of the state. When we got our certificate, Ngige or anybody at that time did not call us to the ministry and brought all the TV stations and say, we're giving them certificates. We got our certificates, we applied, and we got it, properly. But when we were on strike, to break us up, Ngige gave them certificates and called them and made a public show of it. It's clear that there is creation of the state, but it's okay. The law has recognized them, and we have no problem. We wish them luck.
But you are insisting that unless they are members, CONWA and
we didn't negotiate for that.
Unless they are part of ASUU,
we did not negotiate for them.
They will not benefit from this.
In
deal.
fact,
is ASUU reaching out to them to come back into the fold?
I'm just doing
is
that
the
now.
Plan?
I'm just doing that now. I've told them that we are appealing to them to come back, that they are our members. They are members of our family, and we want to work with them. We won't want to discriminate against them. But this agreement was fought for by ASUU, and it is meant for ASUU. And I hope that vice chancellors will not go back to their universities and start bringing everybody, to benefit.
Yeah, but very quickly, that question when you talk about interference, government interference, and how that threatens or not this agreement was the other leg of my question. These lingering issues you highlighted today.
You see, the Ministry of Education, this current Ministry of Education, meddles into affairs of our universities. This current
one?
Yes, they do. They do through our governing councils. They appoint acting vice chancellors today. The ministry will direct that an acting vice chancellor be sent to Jos, and we have found out that governing councils, pro-chancellors, have become ready tools to be used by the ministry to disrupt our autonomy. And that was the point that I was making.
Did you raise that issue at the meeting in resolving, charting a way forward?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That is why we have in the agreement the issue of autonomy, academic freedom, and governance. It is part of the governance.
Okay.
Who can be in our council? What is the criteria that you can come into council?
My last question that I need to ask you, how will ASUU make up for the long-term damage that the cumulative ASUU strike may have done to universities in Nigeria? Almost 5 years, if you calculate it from 1999 to 2023. Any plans to make up for it, to ensure that a permanent damage is not done, to Nigeria's universities? Very quickly.
To correct whatever has happened, whatever situation, students, Nigerians, our reputation, in Nigeria, whatever that impression, to correct it is for us to commit to be sincere in this agreement. Unfortunately, or fortunately for us, we have nothing to do as ASUU members to ensure that this agreement is implemented. But our responsibility, now that we've signed an agreement, is to go back to our work. We are supposed to conduct research. We're supposed to teach. We're supposed to carry out community service. Lecturers must go back and take research very seriously for as long as funds are available. Let us commit to make this country great again through our research output. Let us go back, because of this agreement, to commit to teaching our students, giving our lectures, be parents, friends to our students, and ensure that the learning environment is conducive for students.
Right.
I think that is what we can give in appreciation to what has happened, through this agreement.
Right. Thank you very much, Professor Chris Piwuna, for joining us. Of course, the ASUU president, on this final resolution to the federal government ASUU face-off that's lingered for so long.
At one of these interviews, you had asked me when we are going to see, whether we're ever going to see a day like this.
Yeah.
And that day has come.
The day has come.
Thank you very much for joining us.